Hello everyone and welcome back to Blue Owls Gaming. So as we promised on our previous videos, after all the giveaways and all, that we will do a video of the Vale Guardian kill. So here it is, and hope you enjoy it, because what I will be doing is giving out pretty much tips on how to kill the Vale Guardian. More detailed information will be probably posted in the description of the video. But what I want to do right now is just give you tips as you watch the video on what is required, what do you have to do from especially from my point of view as a necromancer, is pretty much to apply all of the conditions as you can see. And what's important to know, there has to be 5 people on these green fields as you can see them. Usually people go with four characters on the green fields, but we have dedicated 5 just in case like one person cannot make it. We still would have 4, and it's required to have 4 people in it, because if you don't stand in it as soon as it spawns, and it usually lasts for 5 seconds, what will happen? Everybody gets a lot of damage, your team gets wiped out, and then pretty much you will probably lose, and then you have to go all the way again. So every time you see a green field, you need to have 4 or 5 dedicated people to run towards it as soon as possible. One more important thing to know is, depending on whatever setup you have or what kind of builds do you have. I mean, what we currently have is something you can follow up onto, or you don't really have to. I've seen people with different kind of various builds and they still finish it. But there's some important rules to follow up. Aside from these green fields, as you can see, usually we have a dedicated person, usually a mesmer or a tempest for heal and a mesmer for pushback. As you can see, these seekers, they will follow up every now and then. I think there's 2 or 3 of them always close to the Vale Guardian. So what you need to do is, when you're in the green fields, use any kind of damage negate skill that you have to neglect any high damage that would you get in the moment. And now, as you can see in the split phase, usually when you get to a certain percent, the Vale Guardian to lower health, he will split into 3 heroes, which is the red, the green, and the blue. If you're a condition mancer, you have to go to the red one, because the red boss will only take condition damage. If you try to do any kind of pure damage of your power build, you will not do any damage at all. As you can see, I'm making very low damage just by hitting him. But if I would apply any conditions, they make a lot of damage to him. And there's the green hero as well, the green part of the boss, which is on the other third of the map. He can take any part of the damage, I think. I'm not really sure if he regenerates or something, but what happens, usually one person goes over there and just wait for the blue team to get their boss halfway down or 50%, and then the person on the green hero just drags into the blue one, and once they're done, they help you on red. So when all of that is done, the green field will start spawning back again, and then as you can see, the Vale Guardian will start bombing the map all over the place. And what's important in this part is to get a lot of CC on him and just interrupt him. He can be interrupted when he's doing that channeling damaging thing. If you're a guardian or if you're melee range, one important thing to know is that whenever you see blue circles around the guardian, around the Vale Guardian, is to do a dodge, because if you don't, the Vale Guardian will probably shift you or just send you to the other side of the map of this big circle. And what that does, actually doesn't do any damage or anything, but you will lose a lot of damage and you will lose time. And since you're limited with time with this Vale Guardian hero, it's very important that you stay on time and very accurate and focused. One more important thing, if you're watching this and you're going to be the tank for the Vale Guardian raid, you need to have most toughness from all of the people in the raid, because if there's anyone who's got more toughness than you, or pretty much close to you, you will probably lose the aggro from the Vale Guardian, and then he starts roaming around, and that's not really good, because you always want him to be on one dedicated person in this kind of situations. So after you do the Vale Guardian split, he will do the bombing, then you CC him, and always make sure to follow up on the green fields. Usually, what we did over here is I used to call the green fields most of the time whenever I see one because I have a better visuality as a necromancer, pretty much just applying conditions from range positions, and then I can see whenever the green field appears. It's much easier to see for me than from somebody who's close combat with the Vale Guardian. So pretty much have a tank who will lead the raid and one dedicated person who will call up the greens. Probably, it will be best if he's ranged. And what's important after you do the boss kills on his split phase, when he goes back to his normal form, this whole circle deal is split in three parts. And every once in a while he will run in circles while you're hitting him, and every part will light up. If if you see a color beneath your feet, you would have to move from it because if you stand on it, you will take a lot of damage. As you will see in the video, I don't know if you noticed before, if you played it, but see the map is split in three parts, and here are the blue circles. You have to dodge, and now you can see there's a green part and there's a blue part, and if you're standing in it, you take a lot of damage. Sometimes what can happen, these green fields can appear on these highlighted map parts, and when that appears, you would just have to take some damage, stand on it until the green field goes away, and then dodge back on a safe position so you don't die. Uh, one more important thing to mention is, beside that, I will be giving a more detailed description of how we did it in the comments or in the description of the video. Is you don't want to have perhaps like too much damage or too much condi. Balanced is actually the key over here. For example, we have a couple of berserkers. Some are on pure DPS, some are Condi. We have me as the only pure Condi right now, and then we have a Mesmer. And Mesmer is always nice because of time warp and boon strippings on his sword skills, and high DPS as well. And for whoever in your party is calling out all these stuff, for example, like a person should be dedicated to call the green fields, as I mentioned before, and then another person should be dedicated to calling out the blue dots around the Vale Guardian. In our party, that was the commander, I believe, or the tank, because whoever's pretty much close combat, he can notice that very often and very soon, and he should just say, like, blue, and when he says blue, everybody should use dodge just to skip the part if they were supposed to get shifted into the other side of the map, because then they would probably lose a lot of damage, a lot of time, and that's not good. And as you can see in the top right corner, you have the time, and if the time runs out and you don't kill him, pretty much you'll have to do it all over again because your whole team will be wiped. And pretty much there you go. As you can see, we've finished him on time. We had about 20 seconds left. You get a bunch of rewards after you kill him, and this hero will be respawned every 7 days, I believe, once you can kill him. And so it's pretty much that's it for the first part of killing the Vale Guardian. I'll be giving more detailed information in the description of the video, and if you guys would have any comments, any questions, whatever, feel free to ask. Just type in the comments if you want more help and questions about different kind of builds or what kind of builds are people handling this raid. You can ask me and I'll ask them and just give you the information. And for the Vale Guardian, once you do it, you realize it's not really that hard because he keeps doing all of the same things, same actions. So it's just learning the mechanics. And for the once we do the second boss, the Gorsoval, whatever his name is, we'll be posting a video of that as well, and with some detailed description on how to kill it and how to do it. But what's important to mention is the green fields, the tank with a lot of toughness, the blue fields to dodge him, and follow up every time there's a switch on the Vale Guardian when the ground lights up. Pretty much that will be it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, have fun and take care.